We have a 2013 Malibu with a check engine light and an ABS light. Let's figure it out. After scanning the vehicle for codes, you can see we have a lot in the ECM. Now, some of these are from where I've already unplugged a sensor, but the ones that were present when it first got here are the slow response on sensor 1, insufficient activity, sensor 2, low voltage, and intake air temperature sensors 1, 2 not plausible. In the EBCM, we have, basically it was just one code set, which is for the left rear wheel speed sensor. Now, from what I understand, there's already been a lot of parts replaced on this vehicle. I'm not sure if it was to address these issues or not, but let's look at some data and see what we can see. I let the vehicle sit overnight, so the intake air temperature sensors should be close to ambient temperature. So I've got all of those graphed right here, along with the coolant temperature sensor and the ambient temperature sensor. As you can see, the IATs all match, but they are much higher than the coolant temperature sensor, and our ambient temperature sensor is also reading way higher than what it actually is. So the engine coolant temperature sensor is probably the most accurate one. Every now and then, IAT number 2 will fluctuate a little bit higher than number 1, so that may be what's causing this code to set. So the mass airflow sensor does look like one of the parts has recently been replaced, and I'm not entirely sure if it's OEM, but that may be all of the issue with the IAT codes. Let's take a look at the oxygen sensor stuff next. So I'm going to graph oxygen sensor number 1 and 2, and we'll see what it looks like after it's been running for a little while. So this is what our graph looks like for the oxygen sensors. And you can see that both of them are really slow and lazy as far as changing goes. They're not really fluctuating, at least number 1 isn't, the way that it should. Number 2 should be fairly steady around 700 to 800 millivolts, but it is fluctuating between 0 and about 0.5, 0.6. If you hold the idle steady, number 2 goes close to 0, and number 1 doesn't really fluctuate as much as it was. So I think in this case, number 1 is just switching very lazily, and it's affecting the reading of number 2. So what I'm going to do is give it a lean condition and see how both sensors respond. So I'm going to slide this boot off, and we'll see what it does to our graph. Number 2 is already really low, so I'm going to also have to give it a rich condition. Let's see what happens when we give it a lean condition for number 1. Number 1 should start going low. As you can see, it's staying pretty steady, still around 500 millivolts. So it does not look like it's changing any. And if we try to enrich in the mixture, you can see number 2 jumps up high, so that one's definitely responsive. Number 1 did react, but I think it's still really lazy for what it should be. So I've gone ahead and unplugged sensor number 1. Let's see what that does to number 2's reading. So after letting it idle for a little while with the position 1 sensor unplugged, our position 2 sensor is now staying steady like you would expect it to, and it's reading about 0.7 volts or 700 millivolts, which is perfect. So I believe number 1 is just throwing off the reading for number 2. So with number 1 still unplugged, let's do that same test and see how number 2 responds. So if we give it a lean condition, it should start going negative. There it goes. So you can see number 2 responds correctly. It goes negative and it stays there. And now if we enrichen it again, it was going positive, but it just stalled out. But it does look like that sensor is working correctly. So back on our IAT sensors, you can see they still have about a 3 to 4 degree difference. I'm not entirely sure if that's enough to cause the code to set, or if it's actually messed up right this moment. So it looks like the intake air temperature sensor plausibility code only sets when there's a difference of 99 degrees between sensor 1 and number 2. So obviously it's not malfunctioning at the moment. This could be a case where it was malfunctioning and the sensor they replaced fixed it. So for right now, I'm just going to look at the terminals, and if everything's good there, we're just going to drive it some more and see if something happens. So after testing terminal drag, all of the terminals feel fine. So this may be an issue that's already been resolved. For the wheel speed sensor code, I went out and drove the vehicle and collected some data. So let's look over that real quick. All right, so here goes the graph of all 4 wheel speed sensors while I was driving. So our left rear one is this green line right here. And as you can see, throughout the time of driving, the left rear sensor drops out erratically all throughout the test drive at different speeds under different conditions. So there's definitely something wrong with the left rear wheel speed sensor or the reluctor on the wheel bearing. So with just a visual inspection, I've already found the issue with this left rear wheel speed sensor. So just for comparison, this is how the reluctor wheel should look on a speed sensor or wheel bearing that's not damaged. You can see nothing is missing off of it. But then when we look at our left rear one, it's only got a portion of the magnet. So this whole space right here is missing all of the area that the actual sensor right there reads. So that's why we have the code that we have for this left rear wheel speed sensor. So from this point, we know without a doubt it needs a position 1 oxygen sensor and the left rear wheel bearing. Being that there has been so many sensors replaced on this engine and the fact it has a junkyard engine, I went ahead and swapped out the oxygen sensor from one of our loaner cars just to make sure there's no other issues before I go quote these parts. So I've got it in now. Let's go look at the data. So it looks like our oxygen sensor is switching like it should now. Unfortunately, it also looks like this thing may need a catalytic converter because the position 2 is now following the position 1, and we know the position 2 is reading correctly, and we know the position 1 is reading correctly. So it looks like it has an aftermarket catalytic converter, and it also had an aftermarket newly replaced position 1 sensor, which it also looks like it has a new position 2 sensor as well. So this is what I think happened. They replaced this catalytic converter, still had catalytic converter code. So then they replaced both of the oxygen sensors, and then that started having the engine running bad, which led them to replace the mass airflow sensor and several other sensors that they've got written down on the list for me. So it looks like they need a catalytic converter, a position 1 sensor, and a left rear wheel bearing. If you found this video helpful or interesting, then like, comment, share, and follow me for more.